Hi, and welcome back to another video where I'm going to be making more flowers because I love making them and they're so easy and I want to help you guys make them too. So let's get into it. This is the flower I want to work on today just because my sister actually sent it to me and I've been wanting to make it for a while. It's a cute little like pink and orange lily and I think it looks so pretty. And I also just got this rose gold wire. It's from Michael's. It's just the typical 21 gauge wire and I'm really excited to make it, so let's get started. All you're going to need for this project are beads and your wire. And to speed things up, you can get a bead spinner. Mine is from Michael's and I got it for like $20, but other than that, all you really need is a will to do this because it can take a while and you can drop some beads in the process, so you got to be ready for it. Okay, so I'm terrible at explaining things, so I drew this out, but this is kind of my idea for like one of the petals that we'll be doing. So I'm gonna have like 4 rows on each side and then that center row from the like end we make with the wire, but I'm gonna integrate different amounts of beads and just vary it a little bit so it looks more realistic. With the beading, you're just gonna want to snip off a bit of your wire. I'm not really sure how much I'm gonna need yet. I'm thinking around like a foot maybe. This is a bit of a bigger petal, so we're gonna go with around 12. And now to start, you're gonna take one end of your wire and just kind of twist it on itself. I'm leaving about 3 inches on this one shorter side because that's kind of around how long I want my petal to be. It's just a little bit shorter, but, and then you're gonna twist that end. So then it ends up looking like this. And now is where you can start adding beads. So I'm gonna add 15 beads to this center wire and then kind of alter the colors a bit just because my flower is going from like orange to pink. But you can also keep yours one solid color if that's easier for you because you're gonna have to individually place these beads. I just finished my first row of beads. I actually added 18 because I did want it a little bit longer, but once you have those beads on, you're going to want to add around 18 to 19 or the same amount on the outer side. Okay, so I've added my 18 to 19 beads on both sides of my wire, and now we're going to twist these together. So we'll go ahead and do that. I'm just going to wrap this longer wire around the shorter one, and it'll look like this. Now that we've finished this first part, we're going to go back around this petal. So you're going to want to go opposite in the color order that you originally did. So since I went from orange to pink, I'm going to go pink to orange down this side, and then this wire is going to loop around the bottom and it'll keep like going around. So we're going to do that and come back. Also, if you haven't really noticed by now, my videos don't really have a structure on like the exact colors or sizes that you should make your flowers. This is kind of because it's difficult to explain, especially when I have a lot of colors, but also I want you guys to be able to branch out and make your own flowers. That way you can kind of explore your creativity, the colors you like or the flowers you like, so you can make something that you really like and not just like an exact replica, you know? I feel like that's kind of boring, so I'd love to see what you guys make, so if you do make this flower, let me know. Okay, so now I've gone back down the other side with the same amount of beads, and I'm just going to wrap this around the bottom now. So I'm going to wrap that wire right around there. Just once is enough. And then I have this. Now we're just going to continue to add rows. So for each row, you're going to want to add 2 beads. So for the next one, add 2 beads to the number you had in the row before, loop it around, do that again the other way, and remember to reverse your colors. And then we're just gonna do that same pattern 3 times. So we're gonna have 1, 2, 3. So that'll have a total of 4 outer stitches around that middle wire, if that makes sense. I'll show you. So I just ran out of wire before I finished my petal. I finished 3 rows on each side, but I want to do 1 more. So I'm going to show you guys real quick what to do if this does happen. So what I did first was just loop this wire around the bottom because we can use that when we're tying the petals together later. And all you're going to want to do is grab a new piece of wire and then attach it, just loop it around again right there in the same spot. And then you can keep going as normal. Just add as much as you need to finish your petal. I only needed a small amount, so I just grabbed about this much to go around this petal. And then I'm just going to loop this around the bottom. I'm going to leave a little bit of excess wire right here, just in case it slips, but you're just going to loop that maybe 2 or 3 times. Bring that other wire down. So now you have these 2 wires just at the bottom. And then you have your new wire ready to use for the rest of your flower. Okay, I'm back again with my petal. I've almost completed it. I just have 1 more row down to go, but I'm at this top part, and as you can see, we have this little metal end right here, and we want to get rid of that. So let me show you how to do that real quick. What you're gonna wanna do is wrap it around this longer wire right by this base. So I'm just gonna loop it around. Again, 2 or 3 times is enough for it to be secure. So I will do that twice, and then it will just stick up like that with only a tiny bit sticking up. And then what you can do from there is just take your scissors and cut that off. So be very careful not to lose that. It's sharp. You don't want that poking you. So I have it just like this. And now you're good to finish your petal and work your way down that other side. So once you reach the end of your flower, you're on that final row and you just have this last one to loop in. You're just gonna want to loop that around that base again. So we're just gonna go ahead and do that just once or twice around the bottom. And then you're gonna bring all of these wires down. You can twist them together if you want, or just leave them untwisted, it doesn't matter. And there is your final petal. So we are gonna make 5 more of these for this flower, so just repeat those same steps and then come back to the video. Good morning, I'm up. I went to sleep after I made the petals yesterday, but I have them all here. I have 6 petals, and I'm ready to finish this flower, and I hope you guys are too. So to start putting your flower together, I'm gonna take 3 petals and just work in 3s. I think that's easier. So you're gonna wanna place these so that they're all kind of like equally spread apart. So I'm having mine placed like this. And then you're just gonna want to twist those ends together in the back. So you're gonna wanna kind of tilt them up so that way the ends meet on the bottom, and then just try to get the middles as close as possible. And one thing that really helps here is if you have pliers, you can also use those to kind of twist them together. But if not, your hands work fine. So you're just gonna want to twist those ends a little bit, not too much because we still have 3 more petals, but I have mine twisted just like that, and you're all done with those first 3. And now we can just add the other 3 in those little spaces between each petal. So again, for these, you're just gonna take one of these, put the end right near that base of the flower, and then just twist it around. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. And it can go around that petal just a few times until it's secure. And then you have a petal attached. Hold on. You can also adjust these later, so it doesn't matter if they're a little bit funky right now. But yeah, and you're just gonna wanna do that for your other 2 petals as well. Okay, now once you have your petals attached, you can adjust your petals however you want and reshape them so that they look a little bit more lively. So I'm just gonna curl all of mine in. I usually curl the bottom like this, and then the top part kind of goes back out like that, just to give it more of a flare. Okay, and now we have all of our petals curled, and I think she looks so nice. Now we can start working on that middle stem. So for that part, stem, I think, not stem. I always forget what these are called, pistils. I'm terrible at like anything bio and nature related, even though I love flowers so much. But anyway, what you're gonna wanna do is take 3 of these larger strands that you have on the bottom, or like 4 or 5, however many of these you want in the middle of your flower, and you're just gonna send them back up through some of the center parts of the petal and you're just gonna pull that through. So I've just done that with 2 of these, if you can see that. And then I'm just gonna do 1 more. Okay, I found out it is called a pistil, that center part of the flower, and then it has this part called the filament. So this longer part that just extends up, it kind of branches up and has that little dot at the end. I've been loving keeping that exposed, so that's what we're gonna do today. You can add beads onto it and then do what I do, but I really like how it looks with the rose gold wire, so let's get into it. First off, what you're going to want to do is cut these to the desired length that you want them. I want them around here, just slightly sticking out of my flower. So you're going to cut them about 1 inch longer because we're going to be adding beads onto them. So I'm going to cut those real quick. And you can vary them a little bit just to give your flower some uniqueness and just make it not as uniform. I really like to do that just because I think all flowers are unique and they don't have to be perfect. That's the point of these. The rest of this is really simple. All you're gonna wanna do is take some beads. So I have these purplish, brownish beads that I'm gonna use, and you're just gonna want to put those on that end. And you're just gonna take 2 or 3 of these, however many feels right to you. I'm gonna add 3 onto here. And then you're just gonna twist that end back down on itself and kind of curl it tightly because you want these beads to be secure at the end of this little filament. Here is our first pistil. I think she looks great, and you can orient them however you want, make them more curled or wavy or straight, whatever you think looks best. And we're just gonna make 2 more of these or however many you want in your flower. Okay, so we've officially added all of our little filaments and pistils to the center of our flower. I think she looks great with 3, and this is kind of your final product. All you need to do is maybe get one of those flower stems that people use in floral decorations, those long green ones, and then you can just attach it and wrap your wire around it, and then you can just wrap that with floral tape. I'm going to show that in another video because I don't have those stems currently, but as of right now, this is the final piece. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching.